Things have changed in the gaming world. Summer Games Fest was a bit of a dud. We got the Xbox showcase as well as the Starfield showcase and the Ubisoft Direct Xbox. We got a bunch of different events talking about video games, and a lot of people are praising this year's showcase. There was a lot of really good highlights, a lot of fun games to look forward to, and something that really, I think, repaired Xbox in the public eye, at least for right now. We'll see when Starfield releases, and that's kind of what I'm here to talk about today is Starfield. I want to follow up my video about how I was speculating whether or not Bethesda is kind of lying to us with Starfield. I gotta say, I'm a little impressed. I'm a little impressed by the gameplay we were shown, about the amount of content here. Really wanted to just dive into my thoughts on this 45-minute video. It looks to me like they've laid about everything out on the table already. Now, before we really dive into it, I recommend that you go and check out my video on Starfield and maybe come on back to this one, or, check that one out after you finish this one. I don't care what you do. I am not your father. Either way, go check that video out. Let me know what you think about it. I had a fun time making it, and it's one of my most popular ones on the channel. Make sure you like the video, consider subscribing, and if there's anything you want me to talk about in the future, just drop a comment below. There's a lot of people in there that feel a certain way about Starfield, and I don't blame them. There's a lot of people very excited for this game, and I think Bethesda made the right move by showing as much as they did. Now, right off the bat, the game looks like it runs much better. They did a much better job at showing the technical ability here, although it is pretty much run-of-the-mill Bethesda. There's a lot of ideas in this video that are just rehashes or expansions on the ideas that Bethesda had in their previous games. The base building in Fallout 4 is what really got the ball rolling when it comes to their base building in Fallout 76. The idea of giving players that much freedom with their ship building in this game. I'm really excited to see what people do with it, just considering how much people had fun with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and the amount of creativity you can get out of that game's tools is really fun, and I'm excited to see what people do with this game. There are some inevitable designs that are going to show up, and I'm curious to see how creative people get with it. There seems like a very unparalleled level of customization in this game. They're setting the bar pretty high with this showcase, and there's a lot of people that are really impressed by it, but I'm still on the skeptical side. As much as my mind has kind of swayed towards the positive with this game, I'm still not 100% sold on it, just based on the fact that the game is so massive, and something that is developed by Bethesda in this day and age, I think should be taken with a bit of caution. Don't pre-order. I don't know how many times people have to say that, but don't pre-order. The game's not going anywhere. My biggest concern literally just comes down to the scale of the game, Bethesda's track record over the last few years. Other than that, kind of go into talking about how to create your own character, which seems pretty in-depth, and I'm excited to see how much creativity you can get out of this one too. My concern comes down to the quests themselves, the story itself. I feel like they haven't given us a good idea on the depth of the actual worlds themselves. I would love to see some moment-to-moment gameplay, boots on the ground, seamless from gameplay to cutscene type of content. This game really did a good job at showing players what it is and what the game is about, but I do worry because we haven't seen any moment-to-moment gameplay that isn't voiced over by Todd Howard with a very inspiring backing track. And the other thing about this video is it felt very corporate. Everybody's reading off of a script, and I know that's kind of just the case. These people aren't public speakers, but you can definitely tell the difference between one that is and isn't. It just added to the video feeling very stilted. This video really just emphasizes the amount of freedom they give the player, and I think that's a really good selling point because that's kind of the whole idea behind Bethesda games. So the ability to recruit team members and go visit your parents and your family members and start relationships with characters. So we got unparalleled freedom when it comes to customizing your ship and your character and your settlement and a little bit of everything in between. I think it really just boils down to the moment-to-moment gameplay right now, and that's going to really be something that solidifies it for me. Just based on principle alone, I don't recommend pre-ordering this game, no matter how stellar it seems. The copies aren't going anywhere, and a digital release just saves the space on your shelf. I just want to make sure I'm setting my expectations properly and that I'm not getting ahead of myself with the excitement around this game, because as stellar as it looked, it just seems like No Man's Sky light, and I don't see a whole lot of innovation they're bringing to the table that hasn't been done before. The scale of it is going to be what really is the deciding factor for this game, and whether there's enough diversity in the scale of the game, where you have games like No Man's Sky, this is just going to be compared to till the end of time. I think it is important to understand where the difference is between these games. We have two different budgets and we have two different developers and we have two different ideas on what this experience should be. So you got Starfield, which is a more story-driven, character-driven, customization-driven game, survival-driven, whereas you have No Man's Sky, which is just a little bit of all of that at a lighter level. Something that is more accessible for more players out there and something more marketable, I guess. But just based on the stuff we've been shown so far, I think Starfield looks like the No Man's Sky light, but not nearly as light on content as No Man's Sky was on launch. I think if there's one thing we can know for sure is that Bethesda is going to pack a ton of content into this game. They're going to justify the player's time with it. It is just going to come down to whether or not the thing runs properly. And I mean, just the content that is delivered and whether or not it's diverse enough for you to really keep hooked for the next 10 years, because I'm sure they're going to milk the hell out of this thing like they did with Skyrim. And it doesn't seem like we're going to get Elder Scrolls 6 anytime soon. I'll keep an eye on this game. I'm excited to see how it plays out. I'm hoping I'm wrong and that it ends up blowing away expectations and becoming the next Tears of the Kingdom. I'm loving the competition this year. I'm loving all these stellar releases, and I've got a big back catalog I gotta touch on. I'm just now getting into Wolfenstein 2. If there's any games you guys want to see or you recommend me playing and checking out and kind of experiencing them with me while I play them for the first time, drop a comment below and let me know what games I should check out. And if there's any classics I'm desperately missing out on, let me know what your favorite games are and whether I should play them. That's the bottom line here. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know what you think about the Starfield release as well. I think this game's gonna be really exciting and looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Do all that stuff, have fun, go watch my other videos. I had a fun time making those, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.